Was a girl running in our group. She had a high-speed motor in a 40 Ford Coupe. She had a racing cam and a supercharged. Look out, buddy, hot rod and large. She's a hot rod. She's a hot rod.
All right, Charles, I found that article I was talking about the Porsche and the electric vehicle. It was called the Felicity Ace. ACE, and it caught on fire in 22. But there were several lawsuits now have been filed. One of the suits was filed in a court in Stuttgart. I like that town. I always wanted to go to Stuttgart.
It's a nice big army base there.
Yeah, there is. Where I have a buddy there, where VW's Porsche unit is based. Oh, and Porsche's there too, Chuck. The case was brought by a half dozen plaintiffs, including Mitsui OSK Lines, that's the ship's operator, and Alliance, one of the insurers of the vessel, according to a spokesman for the tribunal. This is very short and sweet, but if they're telling you like it is, VW confirmed the suits but declined to say anything else. Mitsui did not immediately reply for requests for comment. The Panama-flagged Facility Ace caught fire near the Azores archipelago in the Atlantic Ocean 2 years ago and was left adrift after the crew was rescued. So, guess what? Love them fires. Roll them cars off into the ocean and let them soak. God. It's just, I don't know. It's just, I just can't wrap my arms around it. Now, Tesla was forced to evacuate its plant near Berlin on Tuesday and half production after the factory was left without electricity following a suggested arson attack nearby by environmental activists. Now, that's the worst thing you can have is an arson attack in a
I was going to say environmentalists.
Yeah, but I mean, an arson attack on an electric vehicle plant? Bad boys. Bad.
So my goal here is to save the planet and to prevent, I guess, emissions. So my solution to that
greenhouse gases, yeah.
I'm going to prevent greenhouse gases and carbon emissions.
By burning it down.
By setting electric vehicle batteries on fire.
That'll work. That's just great. Isn't that just wonderful? The fire broke out early Tuesday morning near the Grünheide plant, and a bomb disposal units were called in after emergency services found a sign saying, "Ordnance buried here." So the activists were very active, the BZ newspaper reported. Police would not confirm the report. I'm telling you, you just don't burn down. You don't set electric cars on fire, not intentionally.
Well, but the interesting thing is, so they basically attacked the grid. Mm-hmm. This was the far leftist extremist group, the Volcano Group.
Volcano?
The Volcano Group.
Sounds like a cool gang. I want to join.
But they also cut power to hospitals and medical operations and schools.
Oh,
So basically, in order to stop Tesla, they shut off the power to a bunch of hospitals and schools.
Nice bunch of fellas, eh?
Yeah, sounds like it.
You got to love them. There's something else. All right. There are some cars out there, and the used electric vehicles are starting to become a thing. We're going to be able to get some used electric vehicles, and they're going to be cheaper. I mean, they're going to be different, but I don't know for sure. Or actually, I probably do know for sure, but I'm not going to say yet what's going to happen here. Used electric vehicle prices fell dramatically last year as Tesla slashed prices on new vehicles and the market remains volatile. But the 30% drop was still not enough to make electric vehicle prices comparable to internal combustion engine vehicles in the used car market. So they're still way high. They're still pretty high. Electric vehicles make up less than 1% of the used vehicle retail market. That's according to Cox Automotive, one of the biggest resellers there is. Nearly 60% nearly 60% of those that use EVs were financed in 2023, according to Experian, that's the money people. And the loans were costly. The average used electric vehicle loan amount was $36,800. Holy crow! Compared with $26,500 for a used internal combustion engine. Huh. That's 11 grand. No, 10 grand. Yeah. Used electric vehicles are eligible for a tax credit under the Inflation Reduction Act. Oh, good. But only vehicles that are at least 2 model years old and under $25,000. Under these price constraints, not many used electric vehicles qualify, and could take a few more years for the credit to become widely useful. Yeah, because they're not going to get any money off. They're not going to pay. Wow. Banks held the largest share, 41%. These guys they're just hosing everybody. They're just absolutely hosing everybody. The used electric vehicle market has been dominated by Tesla, of course, but the electric vehicle makers' market share is slipping. For example, both the 2021 Ford Mustang Mach-E and the 2020 Chevy Bolt were among the top 10 used electric vehicles purchased in 2023. This is from Experian again. At the same time, used Teslas are becoming more affordable. The average price of a 2017 to 2019 Tesla Model 3 has fallen below $30,000. Recurrent found that that means roughly 300,000 used Teslas are within reach of the federal incentive. I still don't understand, and you can give me all the federal incentives you want. What if I got to buy a battery in the next 2 years? There's a 2017. If you buy a 2017 Tesla, it's 3 years away from needing a battery. They say 10 years.
Right.
So, what's the story here? I don't know. I can't do that. There's just something about buying a used car, and they can't refurbish the batteries. They haven't come up with that solution yet. They do have batteries now that you can pull one cell out and put a new one in.
Right.
So you can rebuild them a little bit. But it's not the same. It's not. Used True Car Data Consumer Reports compiled a list of the 10 worst new car deals out there. New vehicles selling for the most above sticker price, and all of them going for at least 7% over the MSRP, manufacturer's suggested retail price. And that's sad, because they're still doing this. And there's not a lot. Well, what happened when we get our chips? We're gonna bring the prices back down. What happened to that? All we need is the chips, and then we can start charging fair prices. You're lying. Okay, number 10. The Hyundai Sonata, 7% over MSRP. Toyota Prius, 7% over. Ford Maverick Hybrid, 8%. Kia Sorento, 9%. The Ford F-250, 10%. Kia Sportage Hybrid, 10%. That'll be the day I pay 10% over manufacturer's suggested retail price for a doggone Kia. Ford Bronco, 10%. Ford Mustang Mach-E. Oh yeah, Mach-E, 12%. Holy camole. Ford Ranger, 13%. Ford F-150, 13%. You know what you don't see on here? You don't see any Chryslers or Chevys or GMs. It's Kias, Fords, Toyotas, Hyundais. Everything else is supposedly is going for a fair price, supposedly. Or these are just the worst ones to buy. The other ones are, maybe they're only 6% over, but they're, and you can tell this to people all day long, Chuck, and they still buy them. They run right out and get them. And there's no rhyme or reason to any of this. And the problem is, we have a generation of credit card carriers out there that, they don't have 20 cents in their pocket. If they got to charge $10, they got to charge it on a credit card. I saw a kid in the store the other day with a candy bar at Walgreens charging it on a credit card. A candy bar, yeah. So let me just say, if they can get it on their card, they're going to buy it. So they don't care if they pay too much. They'll pay for it eventually. We'll make it. Give me that car. I don't care what it costs. I will pay for it someday. We're talking about electric vehicles and making them affordable and blah, 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 blah. There's a couple other things that got to go on out there that you need to know about. And I'm kind of proud of some of this. The UAW wins the organizing vote at a supplier to GM, Tesla, and Stellantis. So there's a aftermarket supplier out there that is going to be organized, and they're going to make good money. And they're going to be trained. I really don't care what kind of money they make. I want them trained. The UAW said in a statement Tuesday that the workers at GNS North America in Canton, Michigan, voted February 20th to become part of the UAW Local 900 Region 1A. The 110 workers at GNS create structural parts like roof reinforcements, bumper components, B-pillars. The B-pillar is the one that's by your left shoulder. And door beams. That's in the middle of the door. GNS North America has additional plants in Holland, Michigan, and Mexico. Efforts to reach a spokesperson for GNS North America were unsuccessful. This is Automotive News, couldn't get a hold of anybody. But Ralph Morris, organizing coordinator for UAW Region 1A, said management used intimidating tactics to oppose the union drive. Are you ready for this? The company hired what they call union busters, or direct persuaders. Call them what you will. Union busters, direct persuaders, newcomers, whatever you want to call them. You call them what you want. And they held captive audience meetings, forced the workers to attend these meetings, he told the Automotive News on Tuesday. And we're on the line and calling them into the office one-on-one. And anti-union rhetoric, you know about union dues, about losing things in the contract, talking about layoffs, plant closings, strikes, and stuff like that. Morris said the win for the UAW, gaining GNS members, is a part of a broader movement for auto workers to have a better workplace experience. And I agree with that. I'm not going to complain about that. And North American suppliers are worried about rising labor costs stemming from the UAW's lucrative new contracts. And they have lucrative new contracts. Trust me. They are kicking it. They are really kicking it. Well, so you know, let's charge your car. Let's charge your new electric car. What do you think? You want to charge your car, Chuck? Excluding TestWorks' network of superchargers, the nation is just 3.1% on the way to its 2030 targets for widely accessible DC fast chargers, according to the National Renewable Energy Laboratory. Now, this means that if Chuck and I were to go out and put one up a day, it would not happen by 2030, including Tesla's fast charger network, which at this point is accessible to primarily only Tesla vehicles, lands the U.S. at 9% of its goal. So we're not anywhere near. We're not even close with the charging infrastructure. Why are you going to run out and buy an electric car? You tell me. I can't, for the life of me. I mean, I'll listen, but I don't know that the deal is going to be that good. Okay, here we go. A February report found that the U.S. added 2,696 fast charging ports in the third quarter of 2023, an 8.3% increase. We're still only at 3.1% of our goal. The rate of growth for fast chargers trailed that of both the slower Level 1 and Level 2. Well, and I'll tell you why in a minute. The gradual progress towards charger targets comes as the rate of the electric vehicle transition has slowed. And it has slowed. I like that. Leaving inventory on lots and sales lagging even in states like California, with enthusiastic adopters. California registered 89,993, seven shy of 90,000 electric light passenger vehicles in the fourth quarter, a 10% decline from the 101,000 in the third quarter last year, or the third quarter this year. According to data compiled for the California New Car Dealers Association by, again, Experian. The money people, they follow the money. You got to go with the money. Analysis, automakers and drivers acknowledge that range anxiety and a lack of reliable and accessible charging are part of the problem. And you know they are. A J.D. Power study from last month found that public chargers are slowly becoming more reliable, but they are often dogged by long wait times. Well, you got to wait for the guy in front of you, or he's going to pull out a gun and blast you. He needs to get his car charged. He's got to go to work. While the bulk of electric vehicle charging happens at home with level 2 chargers, DC fast chargers have the highest power output and charge vehicles the fastest, and it does. The network of public DC fast chargers is essential for fostering consumer acceptance of electric vehicles in the United States. So they say, analysts say. A level 1 charger plugs into a standard 120 volt plug, just like the one in the garage, the wall outlet, and has a charging rate of 20 hours. It takes 20 hours to charge. A level 2 setup recharges an electric vehicle in 5 or 6 hours using a 220 line, 220, 240. Level 3 chargers, also known as DC fast chargers, require at least 480 volt outlet. Chuck, you want 480 running into your garage and can refill most of the electric vehicle's charge in about 30 minutes, though they cannot be installed in a single family home. They are not allowed to be installed. So there's your answer to charging. There it is. You know, well, you got 20 hours, you got 5-6 hours. Good. You got a half an hour, go wait in line for 3 hours and get your half hour charge. It may be all right, it may not be.